So this here was an engine that came in. Customer ran it out of oil. You can see the rods and mains are fairly scored up. But we are going to take the old emery cloth and I'm going to try to polish it and put new bottom end bearings in it and see if we can't make this thing run with good oil pressure and drive again without any more knocks. So to polish a crank, and we've done this in the past many times and it works out pretty good every time. Actually, it has worked every time. It's never failed me. And I have customers that are still running their semi trucks from doing this. Now this isn't recommended, you know, this is kind of a patch and a cheap way of doing it, but put a rag under to catch any filings. Get in there. Gotta try to keep this as clean as possible. And so you just want to work it back and forth slowly. Sometimes you got to twist your emery a little bit just so you get right into the edges. And we'll roll the engine over, except Now obviously this, like if we were gonna do a proper rebuild, this engine would get pulled right out, crank pulled out, and you know, machine shop would actually polish these and regrind them, and we'd go with oversized bearings. But just as a patch job on a 300,000 kilometer engine, just to try to give them a little bit more oil pressure and a little more life, this has worked for me many times. I gotta roll the engine now. I got the Ford engine all back together. This is going in our own service truck, so you know, there was a precursor video that goes with this on how we're basically kind of half patching an engine back together, and then we're gonna kind of experiment to see how well this works. You know, we hand polish the crank, and you know, I put all new rods and mains in for bearings, and just did a hand polish of the crank, and you know, God willing, it'll run and drive good for us. It's just gonna be a shop truck. You know, I didn't pay a whole lot for it, so that's my thoughts. This here's the old service truck Ford engine. I got all the rods and mains taken out, changed out. We had a couple of spun bearings on this thing actually. She starved for oil pretty good. So, you know, no real damage to the crank. You know, quite lucky there. A little bit of scratching, but nothing major. Easily came out with a polish with some emery. So we, you know, this is kind of my experiment. I've done this for customers in the past, you know, as per their request. I've never known how long it lasts. You know, I never saw the units come back. Personally, this isn't the right way to do it. Obviously, the right way would be pull the crank out, tear the engine right down. But in this instance, we just want a running truck that we can go and, you know, get parts with and tool around. It's not going to be a heavy puller. It's not going to work very hard for us. So we're just kind of hoping that this will do it. If we had to tear the engine down and completely rebuild it, to be honest, the truck's not even really worth it. We'd be, you know, $5,000 into it. So okay, everyone, anyways, so this is the Ford truck we were doing the engine on. It's finally back in the truck completely, all nestled in there. Anyways, so what I'm doing, it's been about a week now, cold out, and we're just gonna fire it up and show you guys how she runs after our repair. Again, this is our own truck, so if it fails again, it's not really the end of the world. But this thing oil pressure right there. Really good oil pressure. Now, Fords are a little stupid. They kind of don't read oil pressure. We do have some check engine lights and some other stuff that we got to deal with. That's just how she goes. But other than that, it runs great. I don't know if you can hear it. It's running right now.